Live on Facebook. All right, it just takes a couple seconds for everything to click over. All right, I think it's popping up now. Maybe. I think we're on, maybe. Hello, hello. Let's see, it takes us a second to pop up.
Yep.
Okay, I think we're on.
On? Yep.
All right, yes, I see us on there. Hello, everybody.
There it is.
All right, we're going to give everybody, I'm going to share this over to my personal page.
Share to mine, okay.
There we go. Here we go. All right, how is everyone today? It is Tuesday, and today is our second Tuesday that we did Tuesday Talks.
Hi.
So I'm super excited that, I have an amazing lineup this month of friends that are all, this whole thing is talking about everything health. I mean, you guys are going to be shocked later on some of the stuff we discuss about health, because health isn't just what we eat and drink, it's so much more. And so we're going to go over all that. But the reason, well, so many reasons I wanted Sara to talk today. So I'm going to first introduce you to my friend, Sara Formato. She comes from New York.
Hey.
New York in the house. So Sara, what's the weather there? Is it nice? You have a tank top on too. So
yeah, you would not believe it. It's actually like 55 degrees today, which is unusually warm for March. So we are like super excited for the weather today. Yeah.
So you are actually outside New York City. So you're up in the mountains.
Yep, in the Hudson Valley, very beautiful here. Yep.
Yeah, so I haven't been to your house yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so our next live we're going to do from her house in New York.
Yes.
Just claiming that right now.
I'll have my walls painted by then with my office being redone.
Don't worry about it. I can help you decide on a color.
Perfect.
Yeah. So the reason I wanted Sara to come talk today is, what I love about my friends and people I know and people I love doing business with are people that like to celebrate other people's wins. Mm-hmm. And Sara, that's you. You love celebrating wins.
Yeah.
And so that was really neat. But I love to celebrate you, because anyone that is bold enough to leave a 20+ year career in New York, a great career, and do something because they know it's better for them. So I might just let you tell your story a little bit about that.
Sure. So I was in New York, like right out of college, and I had a few different jobs before I landed at this floral and event planning company in New York City. And it really was a great place, and it sounded awesome, and it was flowers and events, and it was great. But I started there in my 20s, believe it or not. I was in my 20s. I was not married. I had no kids. It was like a different lifestyle then. So I was living in Manhattan. It was absolutely it was almost like a dream then. And something I always talk about too is like alignment in our lives, right? And I was very much in alignment with a position like that many years ago. As it progressed, the job became, as any job does, when you take on more and more responsibility. And I literally was the general manager of the company, running the day-to-day, doing so many things, wearing so many hats, that it became a lot and very stressful, somewhat toxic, you could say, like things going on. And I was approaching my 40s with 2 children now, going, wait a second, what is going on here in my life? I noticed that I was sick like all the time. And like, I'm a mom with little kids at home. I'm commuting to New York City. I'm living like an hour outside of the city. It was just no longer in alignment. And I recognized that But it took me about like 3 to 4 years to actually commit to leaving. Because again, I'm responsible. I'm like, no, I can't do this. I have to like, you know, my family, my income, all these things were like in the back of my head. And, finally, like my husband and I agreed, okay, I can finally leave. Again, we had our third kid now. So still we have 3 kids. I have young kids. They're right now 7, 5, and 3 right now. So they were babies. I had just had another baby, still commuting back to the city. And I was like, this is not good. I'll never forget the day I got back on the train to go after the third kid. And I got on the train and I heard the coughing. And again, we're here to talk about like germs and immunity today. And when I heard that, I said, oh my gosh, I'm like, I'm going to be sick in like 2 days. I can tell already. And just again, the stress of life, the stress of the job, commuting, the mom, family, the home, like all this stuff, it was no longer like in alignment for me. And I was like, it was killing me inside. And I was so unhealthy. I was so unhealthy for so many other reasons. I looked okay. I wasn't, it's not like I gained all this weight or something, but inside I was like dying inside from a health perspective. And so from there, I just said, I got to leave. We got to leave this job. So I finally made a decision to leave. And I told you this, that I said, okay, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. Here we go. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom to these 3 little kids. I got home and my mom, who is a stay-at-home mom, like way better than me, she literally looked at me and was like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, I didn't even know what to do in my own house. Okay. And it's not that like I haven't figured it out, but I am just not like stay-at-home mom material. And so I really needed to like figure things out for myself and what I was going to do. And so I tried a couple of things, still wasn't in alignment fully, but I finally figured out that, like, as you said, helping people on their like wellness journeys was something that was so fascinating to me, and I didn't even realize it. And I grew up an athlete, and like I just never thought of it. In all these years, I was doing something that I was very good at, but it really wasn't in alignment. And so I started focusing on my health more. Started training, working out and stuff like that. And all of a sudden a like trainer position opened up at my amazing friends, like franchise. So all of a sudden just like the pieces fell, all together and stuff. And I became a personal trainer. I work with a mental wellness company, and it just like all literally, when you talk about alignment and things just like coming together, it was like the perfect storm for me. And everything has been like unbelievable for the last 2 years, and I have a health journey around all of this, which I'm happy to share, obviously.
Right. So what I love hearing you say is, one, do you think you kept that job a little bit longer in New York
Mhm.
because it was the identity? That's who you were?
Of course. And
Because
so
I
that
think
was,
so many moms,
yeah,
we do that. I did that. I was a realtor almost 30 years. And it's
yeah.
like,
You
that's who you
identify
were.
with that position. Of course. I even said, what am I going to do? What else am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm the general manager of this company. What else can I do? And I will even tell you, I had a moment where I was going to start a company along the same lines of what I was doing. And it still didn't feel right, even though I knew I could do it. And I was like, I'm going to start a, party company or something. And I knew I could do that. No problem.
But it
There
wasn't.
wasn't something right. And you see, and that's what happens. You're right. We become like identified with that position. Exactly. And that's when we're really like closed minded. And it's terrible, because as women, I think we do so much for everybody else that we really forget to look inside and see like really what's in our heart and what is our desire and what do we want to do that will benefit other people around us. And that job that I had, okay, maybe financially it was helping at the time, but it was doing nothing else good for anybody. And now I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife. I'm a better friend. I'm a better church service person. Like all these things have popped up, and I'm like, I am just a better human, because
Because
I,
you learned to say no to
yes,
things that didn't get you to where you want to go.
absolutely.
The other thing I love that you said, Sarah, because how many people do we know out there that you look at them and honestly, they look amazing. They're built, they got everything going on for them,
Right.
and you think they're healthy,
Right.
like you
Yeah.
were.
So that was
You were healthy.
right. That was me. And basically, right, I've always been, like I said, in shape. And I'm going to tell you a little story here. So part of my story, right? Like I said, I was sick. I used to get sick 4 times a year, like through September through spring, 4 times, like really sick, like sinus infection so bad that it would be like a week, 4 days I would miss work. And it was terrible because I had so much responsibility. And then I'd come back to work and still be sick for a week and a half. And like, I'm like, what is going on? And so it was just like, like debilitating, and it was horrible. And so, I had to like just really hone in and focus on my own health, because I was like, almost like it was like a mask. I looked like I was okay, but I was not. And I actually used to work out like really a lot at one point in my life. And even then when I was working out, I would go after I worked out and I would eat terribly. I would eat terribly. So even in a good workout, see, because my mindset wasn't really where it was supposed to be around nutrition and putting the right things in my body. Again, not just what we look at, what we hear, what we read, but the nutrition that we put in our bodies. It's all so important.
Yeah.
People are walking around like, oh, she looks so put together. But I was like, I'm so tired. I have no energy. I'm drained. I am stressed. Like I'm bloated. Like all those things were happening to me every day. And you wouldn't know, because honestly, that's how most people are walking around.
And that's why I wanted you to talk today, because you're a perfect example of what if I would have known you prior to, I would have thought, oh, she's healthy, she's got it all together.
Oh.
But right now, anyone that sees social media or sees the news sees there's this panic going on.
Mm-hmm.
And people are so, I've heard Costco's out of toilet paper. I don't know what that has to do with it, but I had a friend today tell me she went shopping at 3 stores before she found some medication, and another one that needed some the hand sanitizer. Stores are just getting wiped out because one, people are panicking, and then people are just like reaching out like, what do I need? What do I need? People are buying so many face masks that the doctors, the hospitals are saying, please don't, we're running out.
Right, exactly.
And so will you share with us some tips that can help us all, not just get healthy right now, but to keep us healthy through this germ season and through this season of what we can do?
Yeah. And so that's huge. And my biggest, tip and advice is I have practiced now preventative care in the last 2 years. And so what happened is part of my journey was I started it like most people do as a weight loss journey. And I wanted to lose 12 pounds, my last 12 pounds of baby weight. And what happened was that turned into, okay, I have to eat better and I have to exercise. So what I noticed from eating better and exercising, I had more energy. I started to feel better. I said, okay, this is working, right? And I'm feeling healthier. When we feel healthier, you can do more things. You don't realize it, you're building up your immunity to fight germs and to fight disease. And so after a few months of doing that, I started to realize the second part that I was really bad at. You know how people say they have a morning routine, right? I always said I wasn't a morning person, okay? Let me tell you right now, I was not a nighttime person. I had a horrible nighttime routine, and it gave me bad sleep, tossing and turning, because I was up late working on a computer, on the phone, watching nonsense on TV. Like I was not focused on a good night's sleep, okay? So besides my tip number 1, eating healthy and feeding your body with good things and exercising, sleep. Do you know how debilitating it is if you have a crappy night's sleep? It's so bad. And we can all feel that. You just feel tired and sluggish all day. Imagine if you got 8 hours, like to all you moms out there, imagine if you were getting 8 hours of sleep every night, how you would like slay your day all the time. And so I developed a really good nighttime routine, which was in my bed, definitely no later than 9:30. Sometimes it's 9 because I wake up at 4:30 now. So it was like 9:30 with a book. No more TV, no more phones. My phone is on a sleep timer now that goes off at 9, and it's like, do not disturb. So I can't even, nothing gets through unless like I check it. And, I have developed such a good nighttime routine that I go to sleep. Like it's like kids are in bed. I'm like, good night. It's time for mom. Now I have to settle down and go to sleep. And that has changed so much for me. Again, if you have stress, if you have to fight germs, fight a disease, when you have good sleep, you can battle that better. It's so that's my second tip is you've got to work on your sleep and developing a really good nighttime routine to then get yourself up early. I used to wake up like the kids, Mom, we gotta go to school. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and then mornings were crazy. And how does that set you up for your day? Then you can't, so it's like all this stuff affects your ability to fight disease around you. I'm telling you. And so, and then the last thing that me and my family have done in the past 2 years has been very dedicated to a daily regimen of holistic natural supplements that we have taken that are gut brain access centered, but they literally have built our immune systems up. For each, my husband, it has done something different for him. It has taken away his gas issues and digestion problems. For me, it has helped me, again, fight. I haven't been sick, Lisa, in over 18 months. I am like freaking out. I am so happy. I'm like, I am able to fight germs now, like so much better. My children, like they're in school every day. Like the flu, all the stuff. And I will tell you, my little son, my 3-year-old got the flu. And in less than 30 hours, okay, he was fever free. He was almost back to normal. He was so good. And it's because I give them their daily supplements, their daily probiotics, their prebiotics, like all the stuff we take to make us feel better. And that's preventative care. Yeah. So when all this stuff happens, like I'm not buying masks or stuff at the store. I'm good. Like I know I'm protected and I feel really good. So
yeah. No, and I love that because actually I've in the past taken a lot of different sleep things to help me sleep. And I actually love your, I think it's called Sleep. I mean, your
Sleep, yes. It's unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah. So, but don't worry, guys. I will share a link so you guys can check it out with her. But some amazing stuff to help with that. And you know what? I always say on top of all that is, and of course, all the hand sanitizers aren't your answer. It's kind of in the moment, take care of it. It's all these. So if you have trouble sleeping, will you guys put the word sleep in the comment? I want to see how many people, I know people I see all the time posting, sleep's overrated. No, it's not. I remember I went probably 45 days. I went a couple months that I didn't sleep a lot. It was when I was opening a salon and boutique and I had a lot of stuff and a real estate office going on too. Yeah. And, for a while you can do that because you're going on that, but then you're going to crash.
Absolutely.
There's a day that you're going to crash.
Yeah.
And once you get used to having that 8 hours of sleep and that solid, not just a little here, a little there, sleeping.
Solid, yes.
There is something good about sleep. And for overall, I know one of the biggest things for me is, on top of all that, so on top of her tips, do you guys sleep with the TV? I'm guilty. I do have a TV. That is the only time I turn it on is when I go to bed because it's the only thing that shuts my mind off. Because I can I turn it on 30 minutes, sleep timer, turn it off.
Right.
I know people do the white noise and do that. And I've tried that, but my mind just kind of goes. So it's like, you know what? I can 30 minutes, go to bed. It's something I'm watching some 1990 show. But so I think that's fantastic. If I was a reader, I would read, but I love all those tips. So if you guys are on here and found any of those tips healthy or helpful, will you guys put helpful in there? Because one, we're not seeing your comments right now, but just put helpful on there. If you think that's something helpful that you could do, and then, what's one more biggest tip? If you could give someone besides sleep, one more tip, and then I got one more question for you before we have to get it.
Sure. So like I said, I think my biggest one is really focus on like right now, today, what can you change today in your, habits to help build, and I'm talking directly, like you're going to do a lot of good changes to your body, but really help build your immune system up because I really think long-term and like fighting a cold and flu is one thing, but if you're someone who gets chronically sick all the time, that's going to lead to bigger things down the road. So what can you do today? My tip is anything in your diet, in what you're listening to, what you're watching, again, your sleep patterns, your preventative care, like anything you can switch today to help with that, like do it. Start right now. I think people think like, I'm going to start on Monday. Start right now. You know, you don't have to start. It's 12 p.m. where you are. It's 3 p.m. where I am. You have tonight. If tonight you want to make the night that you start your nighttime routine, start it, right? Get in your bed. Try it. I don't know, 9 o'clock at night, grab a book, listen to a podcast, something that's going to, feed your soul too, and be positive, and all that positive energy, inspiration, that makes you feel better. When you feel better, you sleep better. Why would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't want to go to sleep at night feeling stressed or angst and all that kind of stuff, and even watching sometimes, I don't know, shows and these violent shows or things like that. I'll be honest, I heard my dad say the other day, I'm pretty sure he threw the remote control at the TV when that dragon show that everybody was obsessed with on HBO, the girl with the dragons, I don't know. I don't even watch that show. Everyone was obsessed with it. My husband watched it. Everyone did. And I was like, why are people so obsessed about this? It's television. Who cares, And so you really got to get out of those habits, and care about yourself. Do yourself a favor. Do your family a favor. Focus on yourself and little things you can do right now to change those habits.
I love it. So back to you quitting your job.
Yes.
I love that you did that. I love when people take risk, and that's a risk taker. I love the part when you said, you thought you'd be this stay-at-home mom and you realized it wasn't for you.
Right.
I think you just gave some mom permission to realize that's okay.
Absolutely.
I was not a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
I always told my children, one of us wouldn't survive the right way. Something happened. And you know what? There's some mom out there listening, and there's some mom out there thinking, you know what? I need to be home with my kids. I can't go to work, but they're not living their life to the fullest.
Right.
I think by you saying that and showing that you can show up and do that, there's other things you can do to be able to work and be with your children.
Right.
And so, there's opportunities out there that, so I think that's super important. And not to have any kind of guilt associated with it, because I quit my 20-year career to stay home with my kids, and especially as women, we want to carry that guilt around with us. Like, oh my gosh, I should be doing this or that, or I shouldn't have did this or that, or, so I hope that you gave someone permission today to, no matter where they're at, if they're wanting to go to work or quit their job or not quit their job, or that you guys realize there's other things out there that are possible.
Well, I also feel that, again, we do each have a special gift, like inside of all of us. And we are also different. And this is coming from someone who, I struggle with that. I used to be like a follower and a people pleaser and stuff. And I finally woke up and realized I have special gifts and I have things that I can help people with and help women with and help moms with. And if I stayed at that job and did that, I wouldn't be here with you right now. And that's the point, is that you've got to take those risks, and it's scary at the moment, but you will figure it out. I'm telling you right now, I have figured it out, and I am so much happier for it. I feel so much better for it, and my family is better for it. So it's been, and that's important to think about. If you think you're in a bad place now, if you keep letting that go and don't do what's in your heart, what you feel is good for you, it's going to be worse. It's going to get worse.
So I know for me, when I ran my office, when I had my kids at home, when I did all this stuff, I did not really do personal development, self-development, reading. I didn't have time for that. And now I'm kind of addicted to it because I want to surround myself with good people. I want to be listening to good books, reading good books. So with that being said, tell me, what is one of the biggest, greatest books that's had the most impact on your life over the last, whether it's your life, your business, whatever? What is a good book that you would highly recommend that's a life changer?
So I want to point out too that while I do read at night, like, I am not this like avid reader. Okay. I'm not. I listen to tons of podcasts. I love that because I'm in the car and I'll listen to podcasts. But again, I'm just not an avid reader. So I like books that are like, that are like kind of quick reads and really get like deep really fast. And so one of my absolutely favorites, which did like what change a lot for me in the last like year and a half. I read it about a year and a half ago, and that's when things started to really happen. And it is The Dream Giver from Bruce Wilkinson. And it literally is like all about following like your God-given destiny and like what you were meant to do in life, and to step out of the land of the ordinary and be extraordinary. And it was incredible. And it's a fast read and it's an easy read, and you can go back and read all your highlights. And it was so life-changing for me because I was like, I do have a dream. I do want something better for myself. Wait a minute. So it really, again, it was fast. It was an easy read. So that was great, again, at that time in my life. And I feel like books are so important at very specific times in our life. And I'm all about now the self-development and self-help, because it does. It feeds you and makes you feel good. And so that was one of them. And at the same time, obviously, I quit my big job. And so finances were another one, because I'm going to give you two, if that's okay.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
finances are always a big thing. I think for everyone, I think, people stress about finances a lot. That's one of the biggest like creators of stress in couples and in life is your money and your finances. And so I had heard David Bach on a podcast, one of my favorite podcasts. He came on and he talked about his book, The Latte Factor. And it is literally, again, another quick, it's like 120 pages. It's super easy to read, and it is super easy to understand this concept of like, especially for women, to save your money. And what hit me is that it was like your first job. So when you're like, 19 out of college, when you're in your 20s, if you start saving your money, like how it will multiply and multiply. And over time, like you could literally be like a millionaire in your 30s as like a single woman, right, out there working. And I was like, I literally turned to my 6-year-old daughter and was like, you're going to save all your money when you get your first job. She was like, okay, mom, but it's like, it's super important. So
I absolutely love that book. I just listened to it for the second time, like last week when I hiked. I listened to it, and it was the second time. And I honestly think that book should be part of marriage counseling. I think that book should be in high schools, teaching kids that
Absolutely.
stuff. Because I sit there
Absolutely.
and listen to it thinking, oh my gosh, so and so needs this. How
Mhm.
many people say they don't have money?
Yeah.
I love that.
Right.
So Sara, we're
Mhm.
right at the past the 20 minutes, but I try to keep
Okay.
it 20, 30 at the max. So we're at
Yeah.
27.
All
So
right.
thank you so much. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to give everyone a chance to win one of those books. Last week I gave away a book,
Oh,
and
cool. Yeah.
I just did that drawing last night and posted the winner of that. I think it was Melinda Austin won that one.
So cool.
Today, you need to put in the comments which
Hmm.
one of those books. You want to hold both those books up again? And then, so do you want the Dream Giver? I'm going to even take a picture of you holding those.
Yes.
Um, so we can, there we go. So the Dream Giver or the Latte Factor.
Yes.
Um, so one or the other, which one do you want?
Right.
And
Build your dreams or get your finances under control.
those, and they're, they need them both.
Right.
But pick which one you guys want, and I will do a drawing, and I'll announce that later in the week and do that. And thank you so much, Sara.
Hmm.
And I'll put Sara's link in here if you guys want information, or reach out to her and ask her questions on what supplements might work good for you. Because
Yeah.
honestly, everyone, we all need help. We all need stuff like that to make us feel our best. So thanks again. And
Thank you so much, Lisa. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you. All
Mhm.
right. Bye.
Mhm.